evening.
Hello. I think, well, I just paused the recording just now. Yeah, so just everyone, just be aware I am recording this session. So just, know that I am recording this and we are going to be streaming this. Oh, I see a few more people have joined now as well. We are going to be streaming this into the Facebook group as well. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm going to do some introductions in a second, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that we are recording and we're going to be streaming as well. So let me just start the stream before we do introductions. Let me do this now. Hang on.
You tell me when you're ready, Gayla.
Yeah, I will. 1 second. And what I'll do, Rosaria, is I will monitor what's going on in the Facebook group and I can let you know if there's any questions or anything coming through, okay? Okay, so we are live in the Facebook group and we are on Zoom. I'm recording. So well, let's just kick off and get started. So we can start just by saying hello and making a couple of introductions. So first of all, for those of you that don't know me, I think most people that are going to be on here will know who I am, but just to avoid any doubt, my name is Gail Logan. I am a leadership coach and I am the person that's kind of set this up and organized the session tonight. But I'm delighted to be joined by the wonderful Rosaria. So Rosaria Cirillo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Rosaria. I'm just going to say Rosaria. So I'm delighted to be joined by the lovely Rosaria, who has, so Rosaria and I have known each other, gosh, for many, many years. So I think we go back
2005.
Oh my goodness, that's nearly 20 years.
Right?
Old enough for that, yeah. So we've known each other for nearly 20 years and have been in touch on and off over those years. So we worked in the corporate world together and then we kind of reconnected a while later. And now Rosaria is actually in my mastermind and we've done some coaching together and things like that. And I'm just delighted to be able to give her the opportunity to share this experience with all of you. So the people that are live here on Zoom. So we are live on Zoom. If you're watching in Facebook group, we're live on Zoom as well. There's a link in the group. If you want to come and join us on Zoom, I can put that in the comments. I'll do that in a second, actually. And so we're live on Zoom. We are streaming live into the Facebook group as well. And I am curious and excited to see what this is all about. So I have done a laughter yoga session once before, many years ago. It was a live in-person thing, but I've certainly never done it before with Rosaria. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. Really looking forward to it. But I think what I'll do is I'm just going to hand over to you, Rosaria, and let you do your own introduction. You can say whatever you want to say, and then you can lead us from here, if that's okay. Is it okay just to hand over to you, Rosaria?
Absolutely. Thank you, Gail, for the introduction. And yeah, welcome. This is Rosaria Cirillo, but I've lost.
Oh, I did say it wrong. I'm sorry.
No worries. It's like I'm not even I don't mind anymore. Like I'm hearing all sorts of pronunciation of my name, so it's no problem. So Rosaria Cirillo, and I'll share a bit more about me as we go along. For now, I just want to say that indeed, as part of the great coaching program that Gail is doing, I really wanted to share with the group more about laughter. I became last year laughter yoga teacher and I discovered this wonderful practice. But I'll tell you a bit more in a moment because first I also want to learn about you. So what we're going to do for the next 60 minutes, about 60 minutes, we plan to finish on time by 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. CET, introduce each other, giving you a bit of theory about happiness and laughter, so the knowledge part, but then mostly we are just gonna do it and experience laughter. And a bit like Gail says, she joined one before, like I've now joined a number of different sessions. Every single time is different because every facilitator, every leader has a completely different style. So you'll get to experience mine. And then we will share what the experience, we will recap what we learned, and also some commitment about how you can bring it more into your daily routines, and finally answer any questions you may have. But before then telling you a bit more about myself, I want to learn a bit more about you. So I invite you to share in the comments, where are you from, where are you connecting from? And the very key questions I also want to ask you is to think, I'd also set up Slido, but since we are a small crew, we can just do it also in the comments in Zoom directly. So think of the following. How are you feeling with regards to enthusiasm, mood, energy, stress versus calm? And give yourself a score, 0 being the worst that you can possibly feel at this moment, and 10 being the best that you can feel at this moment. And share it with us in the comments, in the chat. So you can add, the score, and then also, where are you connecting from? I'm curious. I know a lot of people from Gale group are from Scotland, and I'm feeling a lot part of Scotland right now. I'm watching Outlander as a series, which is like really completely got me into. So I feel a bit of Scotland. Yeah, so I see Glasgow, Scotland. I'm Julie from Alkmaar, the Netherlands, very close by where I live, Surrey. Yeah, so I see a number of 6. And Catherine, when you say 2 for stress, meaning not stressed at all, so very bad on stress. So the 0 to 10 is worst on the stress side, and if you're really calm, then 10. Gail, your mood at 8, it's already pretty high for being tired. So
I know, once I put the 8 in, I thought maybe it's not an 8, but it's funny because when I start doing stuff like this, I kind of like I get re-energized. So yeah, I'm just not sleeping well in general at the moment, but yeah, I'm pretty good though. Even though I'm not sleeping well, I'm pretty good. Always pretty good.
We keep a mental note of this, how we're feeling today, and then we see also after the session. And then very briefly, who am I? And now Julie knows already for sure the answer to this question. So Julie, please don't answer this one, but this one. Now, if any of you saw the Eurosong Festival on Saturday, you probably could recognize this one. Normally nobody recognizes it, but on Saturday, it was one of the very first things that Eurosong Festival showed about Italy. Anyone been seeing Eurosong Festival and paid attention? Where is this? No, okay, no, okay. Then I'll tell you, I'll give you another one, another chance actually. Anyone recognizes this one? Anyone? No, I don't see any comments in the chat. Then I'll reveal it to you. So this is the Royal Palace of Caserta, which is just very close to Naples. So this is where I'm originally from. I'm actually Italian, coming from this very volcanic city of Naples. That's probably where I get my energy and my enthusiasm. And I've been living in the Netherlands for now 20 years in July with my husband and two sons. And basically, I moved to the Netherlands 20 years ago for an internship at Forrester Research, which was at that time on customer experience. And I then decided to stay. So I first worked at Forrester Research, and then I joined the contact center of Adobe Stream, which is where I actually met Gail. So that's how far back Gail and I go. And then after that, I had experience in the corporate environment at Philips. So a number of positions, always focused on the overall customer lifecycle journey, and always thinking about what made customers and employees thrive, what made them happy. Trying to understand that from running and understanding customer satisfaction survey, and then NPS, reading through their comments. And basically, and then 8 years ago, I started my own consultancy company, One Now, with the idea of having an happiness-driven growth. Why? Because my vision has always been that we can be happier. So like if we are happy and we multiply happiness around the people around us, then profit will follow as a result. So happiness is what we should put at the center, rather than thinking customers or employees or whatever else first. And that is how I started then in the past few years, studying more and more and more happiness and the science of happiness, even though my background is actually on business economics. I even did a TEDx on this very concept of happiness-driven growth, and then done all sorts of studies, among which the last one, laughter yoga. And I've written a number of books about it. And what I do now is bringing happiness to business with keynotes, training, advisory, and services. So those are a bit my entire offer of how I contribute to business growth. And what you're seeing today, it's a shorter version of what I call sessions and play shop, of which laughter yoga is one of them. And that brings us to how did I then get to have all this, gain this knowledge about happiness and then to share it. What is really happiness and what is laughter? Before I share with you my definition, again, I invite you to share in the comments what is your definition of happiness? How do you see happiness? How do you define happiness? Any feedback in the chat? Gail, do you also want to share your definition of happiness, actually?
I just put it in the chat, actually.
Oh, okay.
Can you see the chat?
Yeah, I'm seeing it on the other computer. So I see Catherine, happiness, feeling good and being content. Julie, it's like being in a sunbeam. Anybody else? Then I'll go on and share with you my definition of happiness, which is when what you think, what you say, what you do, what you feel, and what you experience are in harmony. Basically, an extension of the definition of Gandhi, because it's really also through my work in customer experience that I really felt that there was a lot of impact in everything that we do day in, day out as a customer, as an employee. What we experience in the interaction with companies also impacts a lot our happiness, and so do our feelings. So that became my definition. Over the past few years, I've done a lot of research also for publishing my book, and I came to the conclusion, and the collection of different type of research and bridging psychology and neuroscience to business, there are ultimately three types of happiness. One is the hedonic happiness. So this one is about pleasure and pleasant life, to which it relates the fact that it's really happiness as a feeling triggered by our five senses, but also a result of our dose of chemicals. So the chemicals that are continuously running in our body, and I'll share with you in a moment which one they are. And then we have a daimonic happiness, which is about the flourishing life. This one is where it's more happiness as an emotion, which is triggered by our needs, but also as a brain muscle or a neural pathway, which we can develop and keep active through practice. And then the final type of happiness is what we define as mature happiness. This is inner harmony, it's acceptance, it's gratitude. I think it's very similar also to Catherine, your definition of happiness. It's more like a mature happiness, really this inner harmony of feeling content. And this one is really about an attitude and a way of living that we can nurture. So in my work for the book, I really focus on those two aspects of happiness. Happiness as results of our dose of chemicals and the emotion triggers from our needs. And this one is about the podcast I'm now also running on all those different types of happiness. And if we look at the chemicals behind happiness, we see that there is like part of our happiness, it's really just a chemical reaction that happens in our body. We feel happy when our body gets four main chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. And there are a number of activities which help us trigger those chemicals. In particular, already while I was writing the book, it came up that laughing and laughter were actually one of the activities that helped triggering all of those different chemicals. But back then I thought I could only laugh when looking at a comedy or hearing a joke. So I really had to provoke almost that laughter. And while we were looking also at the elements of the chemicals, we also looked at happiness as a fulfillment of needs. And there we identified what we called the sunflower of happiness with 9 factors that contribute to our happiness: health, autonomy, purpose, play, integrity, nature, empathy, simplicity, and smile. And the entire book is about looking at how companies are doing a number of activities that influence, that contributes to the happiness of other customers, other employees, or society overall. So while writing the book, I was much more focused on the contribution that companies can give. I also started to look into, okay, but how can we really trigger those elements more, and how can we take care of them at individuals level? And that is then when I also came across laughter yoga, which now it's what I define the super B, because it's really, it's the one activity which really can cultivate all of the other factors of happiness, because it's incredibly good for our health, because it's autonomous, like as I will show you now, we can just trigger it on our own need and moment. There is also purpose, because with the inner spirit of laughter, like we change our attitude towards the world, we can also laugh for peace. So it actually gives us purpose. Play, because there is so much playfulness involved, and so on for all the other elements. But now, like, I want to go more in details into the laughter and then let you experience it for yourself. So very briefly then, what is laughter and why is it even called laughter yoga? So in 5 points, it's that, first of all, it's a simple revolutionary idea that in order to laugh, we don't need to watch a comedy or wait for somebody to do a joke, which basically it's kind of intellectual laughter, because you really need to understand it also mentally. But actually the idea behind it is that you can just laugh as a physical exercise on demand, whenever you want, as a physical activity. And how do you do this one? You do it as a group exercise. So you get together with other people through eye contacts and mirror neurons. You activate together childlike playfulness, and therefore you just start to laugh. And while the laughter at the beginning it's kind of faked or provoked, it very quickly just becomes authentic laughter, because then you just stimulate with each other the laughter. The only reason why it's called yoga, which sometimes can be off-putting for some people, for me at least it was in the first few years, I was like, oh, I'm not sure I'm interested in going and doing yoga while laughing. But in reality, the only reason why it's called yoga, it's because it combines laughter exercises with deep breathing. Because laughing is actually an exhalation. So we breathe in, and then when we breathe out, we laugh. So it's a very strong form of breathing. And the reason why it works is that because our brain can actually not differentiate between real laughter or voluntary laughter. The physical movements that we make, the way that we move the diaphragm, the way that we stimulate the lungs, it's exactly the same. So we're going to produce the same joy cocktail that we would produce if we would just be laughing. And what this idea, how was it invented? It started in 1995. When a doctor, Dr. Madaria, was looking for, was writing a medical article and was also looking for ways to relieve pain from his patients. And then he discovered that there were people which were already laughing in order to reduce the pain. And from that moment on, it started as a group activity, and it has been now going everywhere in the world. So there are laughter yoga clubs pretty much everywhere in the world. Why does it work so well, and why does it have the maximum health benefit? It's because, first of all, it's sustained. So we laugh for at least 10-15 minutes continuously, while instead, when we normally look at a comedy, we maybe laugh 1 or 2 minutes, or when we hear a very good joke, we also laugh 1 or 2 minutes, but then we don't laugh for a while. And instead, with this one as exercise, we just laugh continuously. The second reason is that it's deep. We are going to involve the diaphragm, which is the muscle just under the lungs. And by stimulating the diaphragm, we push up the lungs. By pushing up the lungs, what happens is that we exhale more carbon dioxide, and therefore we are able then to breathe in more oxygen, which ultimately creates a better oxygenation. And the last reason is that it's unconditional, because we don't need to wait for a joke. We can just do it at any moment. even in a sad moment, even in an upset moment, we can choose still to laugh. And finally, the 5 benefits of laughter. So the first thing is it really elevates the mood because it releases this joy cocktail of those of the dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. And especially endorphin are the most released one, which are our natural painkiller. It also has impact on our stress. It reduces the stress and it strengthens the immune system. And I'll share with you one more detail on this one in a moment. Because we have higher oxygenation, therefore it improves also the performances because then we have higher concentration, better memory, we are just more energetic. It is a social connector because when you laugh together, you bond together. It just creates a special connection with the people you laugh together, and it can become really a coping mechanism also during challenges. And as the very final theory part from me, a bit more detail on that second point on the health improvement. Why does it reduce stress? It's because it goes to work on our autonomic nervous system. So as you probably know, we all have an autonomous nervous system, the one that controls our breathing, our heart, all of the function in our body that happen automatically. And we have a sympathetic part to it and a parasympathetic part to it. The sympathetic part is our fight or flight, so it's responsible for our stress response. The parasympathetic is our rest and digest. It's the part of our nervous system that is responsible for relaxation. And while the sympathetic activates our stress cocktail, so it brings in circulation cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine, which are all responsible for all sorts of not so good health impact. The parasympathetic system releases the happiness cocktail, again with a dose of chemicals, but it also releases growth hormones, NK cells, which are antitumoral, and interferon gamma, which are also very, very good for our immune system. And the magic part here is that laughter and stress are psychological opposites. So you cannot, because laughter immediately activates the parasympathetic system, you cannot be laughing and still be stressed at the same time. And that is why laughter works as just an immediate stress release, and it brings all of the benefits of the parasympathetic system with it. That was really the whole part about the theory. And now, rather than just telling to you, we are just gonna actually practice and laugh. And what we will do, so I want to share with you, normally the laughter yoga session is about an hour long. So there is a part with warm up and laughing with a number of exercises. Then there is something called the laughter meditation, in which you laugh without really many stimulus. And then there is a final part of relaxation. What we are gonna do, it's a shorter version of all of those elements. So we're gonna start with warm up and laughing, and mostly we'll do some laughter there rather than the very detailed laughter meditation. And then we will have one relaxation exercise. And I want to stop share. Yes. So now for the laughing part, I invite you all to put your video on so that we can all use the mirror neurons. And don't be shy. Julie, good that you're already laughing. Yeah. So I'm gonna wait for you. Yeah, now I can see your beautiful faces as well. Thank you. Any questions so far, by the way, before we get started? No? All ready to go? Sarah, I see you have your little one. Hello.
Oh, we've got kitties with us.
Hello. So don't feel silly. If you, by the way, raise your hands. How many of you have done this before?
I think I've done something similar.
And I think Julie has also done something, right? Oh, for the rest is new. Okay. So don't be shy. It can be at the beginning, it can be strange, and there might be some of you that have the laughter that is blocked. Just go with the flow and let it happen. So the first thing that we do some warming up exercise. And yes, please, good question, Julia. Of course, I want you to unmute. Thank you for the question. I forgot to mention. You can unmute yourself now. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're just going to clap our hands. And I'll tell you, for many of those things, we will feel very silly. But we're just going to clap our hands. And the reason why we clap our hands is that as we clap our hands, we are activating all our acupressure points. Clapping our hands is also a way to start waking up our inner child. Now Sarah is with her, the real children, yeah! And then you add a rhythm to it, which is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then quicker. And the next step, and here we're going to start activating our diaphragm. The next step is that we're going to do the same clapping by saying ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And like the H has to be very aspirated because you have to activate the diaphragm. And I can tell you, the first 3 months that I did laughter yoga, my diaphragm, like here, was not even moving. I was like, do I have a diaphragm? But the more you go like ho, ho, like Father Christmas, the more your diaphragm gets activated. Ready? Ho, 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 the final warm-up exercise, and this one is like, we're gonna breathe like a dog. Sarah, what's the name of your children? What's the name of your children? Do you guys know how the dog breathes? Anyone knows how the dog breathes when the dog is running? Anyone? How does the dog breathe? So the dog breathes, we breathe in, and then when we breathe out, tongue out. Ready? Ready? Go, breathe in. Very well, very well, yeah. You can do it with me, very well, very well, yeah. Very well, very well, yeah. So this is also like something that we do it continuously in laughter yoga and often every couple of exercises, because once again, we are reactivating the energy inside, but we are also creating an anchor in NLP, in neuro-linguistic programming, because by doing this very well, yeah, automatically in the following days, every time in your day that you say very well, you are remembering this. And also by doing this is also kind of a power pose. So again, you get the energy by just doing those activities. Now that you are warmed up, are you warmed up? Or you need more? Are you warmed up? We can start to do all sorts of laughter. So this is now the part where we start to do the first laughing exercises, which means we charge up a laughter and then we laugh. So one of the most common one, it's called the 1 meter laughter. And it was invented in India because all the, I never know the people who sew, I can never remember the name in English, the sewer, what's the name?
Seamstress.
No, the people who sew, like the people who cut and sew, they measure with a meter, the tailors. Tailor. I'm looking for tailor. They were continuously measuring a meter. So how do we do with 1 meter laughter? We first measure, we count in meters. So we go like until the meter, and then we open the arms and we laugh. So like we charge up the laughter with the and then we laugh. Ready, steady, go. do the morning laughter so that you can also think of, you can reuse them in the day when you start your day with a laughter. So the first laughter we do in the morning is we wake up. So we do it with a stretching, which is we go like and then we laugh. So for all of them, I will show them first to you and then we do them together. Ready, steady, go.
Oh my God.
And then you can imagine that you have to go and wash your face because you're just awake. So you go to the tap and you open the water, you go, you get the water on your hands, and then you start splashing water on your face, and then you just laugh splashing all the water on your face. Ready? Steady, go open the tap, And then we need to brush our teeth. So what do? Do you, Sarah, kids, brush your teeth in the morning or only in the evening? My kids do it only in the evening, but we should do it also in the morning. Twice a day, very good. So we grab our toothbrush, then we put the toothpaste on then we start brushing, and then we go laughing while brushing our teeth. Ready? So we grab the toothbrush, And now that you are all washed up, we can put on some face cream, but this one is a special face cream. It's a smiling cream, so that you have it for all the day. You are collecting smiling cream. So you get your pot of cream, you open it, you get it with your hands, and then you start putting it on your face, and then you laugh. Ready, steady, go. While you are putting on your cream, suddenly your phone rings and you look at it and you see that somebody that you haven't spoken for a long time is calling you and you're really happy. So you go, hey! And then you answer even more happy because you haven't spoken for that. Go like, hey! Then they tell you the most incredible story, super funny. You go, hey, because you cannot believe it. And then it's so funny that you just start laughing uncontrollably. Ready, steady, go. Very well. Yeah. You're all freshen up and you go in your living room where, if you have kids, your kids have made an incredible mess, or if you have dogs and cats, your dogs and cats have made an incredible mess. So you're shocked. And I don't know how you do it when you're shocked and you see all this mess. I used to go like, and now I do all of that. And I go like, I just have a big laugh. Ready? So you go, you see all this mess and you go shocked 3 times, and then we laugh. Ready? Steady, go.
My stomach's hurting.
And then we can do one for the kids, one for the children that they normally like it. Do I have them with us, Sarah? So we can do the 4 monkeys. So you know the monkey, so we have the monkey, I don't see, I don't hear. So we go like, I don't speak, we don't speak, we hold, but then the monkey laughs. So then we go and laugh. Ready, steady, go. So we go,
Eh,
Yeah, you want to do it again? We do it once more. This one, once more. The monkeys. Once more for the monkeys. We go. And then we have a couple more laughter. We have one, I think, Dale, you really appreciate. We have the inner critic laughter. So we now move into what I call the situational laughter. So the laughter that you can use in some sort of situations or emotions. So the first one is the inner critic laughter. So this one is the inner critic starts to talk to you. So what we do is we acknowledge, we see that the inner critic has shown up. So we go like, we acknowledge it. We listen, then we thank her, like go like, and then we let her go and we laugh. Ready, steady, go. So we go like, we let her go. And another one is also when we want to do thought detoxifying. So we have a lot of negative thoughts. So we can imagine that our hands are like magnets that grab all of our negative thoughts. So we go like and then we shake all our negative thoughts and we laugh them away. Ready, steady, go. Yeah. And then if you're really angry with something, we can do the anger laughter. So the anger laughter, when we're angry at something,
some laughter yoga?
we imagine punching someone. So we go like, and then we punch and we laugh. Ready, steady, go. The last two. One is the freedom laughter. So when you have something that you imagine it's like pressing a deadline or something that's really annoying or a rule that you don't like, you imagine this rule as chain around your hands, and then you go like try to break the chain, and then you break the chain and you laugh. Ready?
Oh.
And then we are already at the okay, one more. So in the meditation laughter, what we do is then we don't do all those playing and stuff. We just breathe in and we laugh. So we can do two, just for you to feel it. One is we breathe in and then we actually laugh silently. So we just laugh in silence, shaking our shoulder and also opening up our chin like that one. Ready? So we go. And in the meditation laughter, we laugh as long as we like. And another one that we do also in the meditation laughter, we breathe in, then we hold. We can do very strange faces as well as we hold. And then we release everything and we laugh and open up. So I'll show you once and then you can also do it with me. So we go. Okay, ready, steady, go. Breathe in, hold. And repeat it 3 times once more. Breathe in, hold. You can do your ugly face, your angry face. And the last one, with all the whatever it's holding you in, you show it in your face, and then you release and you laugh. Ready?
Dog likes it.
And then the final one, the very final one, is what I call the gratitude laughter, but also the self-love laughter. Whenever you want to tell yourself, well done, what you can do is I do this one, and then you hug and we laugh. Ready, steady, go. So like, So you can do this one for yourself. And another one I also like to do at the end of the session is the same one, but then imagining that you do once for yourself, once for the people you are laughing with, and the final one for all the teachers that you have had in your life and that brought you where you are today, and then you laugh. Ready? So we go, very well, yay! And very well, yay! So that was the laughing part. And then the very final step of a session that we do, it's the relaxation part. And there are all sorts of different relaxation. There are at least 5 different types of breathing techniques. And there is also yoga nidra. The one I wanted to propose with you this evening is one of the simplest one, and that you can do anytime, and it's the humming, if I pronounce it correctly in English. So the way that we do it, we just breathe in, and when we breathe out, we hum like and we can repeat it 3 to 5 times in our own timing. And what this does, it immediately activates our parasympathetic system, and it also recenters us, because also during the laughter yoga session, there's a lot of energy going around. So in this way, we recenter and we recalm. Ready? We go. Breathe in. And so that was that for the session, for the laughter yoga session. So at this point, I would like to ask you again, how do you feel now? So we come to the sharing part. How are you feeling? And you can share directly in the chat. So if you think about your energy now, how is it? Let me pull it up again, the question. Present you. So if you think again of from 0 to 10, enthusiasm, mood, energy, stress, and calm, what's your score now? And also, how was it? So I'm happy if you can share one of your words, either in the chat or also just verbally. How was it for you? Was it what you expected? Was it very different? Yeah, it's funny so to comment about the embarrassment went up when the neighbors saw it. It's also very, very valid comment. The thing is, we are still not used to laugh. It has become, as we grow up, it has become something that we almost feel shy to do, although it's the most natural things in the world. And if you think about children, that's their way of expressing. The first thing that a child does, a newborn does, the first expression is laughter. So it's really one of our biggest forms of expression, but we grew up by not feeling that we can actually do it. Oh, I don't know, Sarah, Gail, apparently Sarah can't.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Sarah. Sarah, you're not, I don't see you as being muted, so I don't know why we can't hear you. It must be at your end. Oh, don't know what that was. Yeah, I don't know why we can't hear you, Sarah, because
yeah, and it's connected, and it's indeed, I don't know.
I've just muted you now.
Maybe you have double microphone, Sarah. Sometimes it happens with me when I have a microphone where I have a button that I have to press on the microphone to actually activate it.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't hear you, Sarah. Sorry.
And in the meantime, if you guys want to share something more, what you can also share, if there is, what is it you take out of this session? And I always like to use the AIM word. Is there something actionable, something inspiring, or something meaningful, any aha moment that you take with you after this session?
Oh dear.
Oh, glad you liked it, Sarah.
Oh.
And there are even laughter club just for children. So because and in their session there are really all sorts of games that also get played. Anything else? Yeah, and it can be also at the beginning, the laughter, you might feel like you run out of breath because it just means that your body is not used to it. I mean, one thing I didn't mention is 10 minutes of continuous laughter like we did are the equivalent of 30 minutes on the rowing machine. And this is also why, Gail, laughter is actually it's a real cardiovascular exercise, which also has a lot of benefits on weight loss. Because you're seriously moving your body. It's like you're doing abdominals, you're doing cardiovascular activity. So like really the equation, the ratio is 10 minutes of laughter, continuous laughter, the equivalent of 30 minutes on the rowing machine. So how intensive activity it is.
So Rosaria, is there a reason why you pointed that particular comment at me?
Because we had that in the chat. Because no, just because
You're trying to tell me something.
No, because in the chat from last week there was a remark. I think you or Gillian posted something about weight loss.
Okay.
I mentioned that the laughter is also great, and now I remember. Oh, I forgot to mention this before.
Right. Oh, you would have had me at hello if you'd just said this is about weight loss. I'd be like, right, where do I sign? Oh dear.
Yes, exactly. You can add it to your step. So then just recapping really for me, I hope we learned, we laughed, and we experienced together the difference of before and after. So like I always like to say, if you remember 3 things, one is that you can cultivate your own happiness and contribute to both yours and other people's happiness through those 9 factors of happiness. health, autonomy, purpose, play, integrity, nature, empathy, simplicity, and smile. Laughter yoga, it's the one that really connects them all. You can create also and develop neural pathways through practice. So what you do with laughter, you are also creating new neural pathways of getting used to do that more often. What I notice even now when I look at comedy, I laugh longer. When I hear a joke, I laugh longer. And really, laughter yoga is this great, simple, time and cost-effective to just be happy and healthy. And at the same time, when you do it together with other people, you're also cultivating relationship with other people. And the last bit was to invite you also to commit to how can you bring more laughter in your life? What is that you can do as of today to start laughing more, and make sure that you write a note to yourself so you can actually take action on that. It can be just doing the morning laughter. It can be looking for a laughter yoga club in your areas. It can be just commit to do more laughter. There are a few things that I have, one of which it's also the free monthly laughter Zoom. So once a month, I do a free half-an-hour session in which we just laugh. And I have a number of courses in which we go a bit deeper than we did today on the laughter. So on that, you can reach out if you're interested or book a call. And the last bit, when it comes more to happiness transformation, one thing I'm now also doing, it's a game in which we both learn about the science of happiness more in depth than we did today, but we also do laughter. And it's a very interactive session in which you both learn about happiness and the science of happiness and the SPIRE model, but we also do a lot of laughter and we actually play a game. So for this one as well, there are some links, and just get in touch with me if you're interested. That was all from me. I don't know if there are any questions or you want to add and share something, Gail?
Thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone. That was I feel like you should be on the stage, Rosaria. Like, you know, I'm the one that's done Amdram. You know. Yeah, no. So no specific questions from me. I'll leave it open for other people to ask questions, and we are live in the Facebook group as well. I know there's somebody watching. I'm not sure who it is, but I'll put a note in here as well that if anybody's got questions in the group, feel free to put them in the group as well. And I guess what I would say, Rosaria, is because this has been broadcast into the group as well, if anybody else kind of catches up on the replay, presumably you'll be around to answer any questions as well, just if anything comes up in the next kind of 24 hours or so. Would that be okay?
Absolutely, sure. And I'm in the group as well, so also any questions also later, whenever I see, I'll answer them anytime. No worries.
And maybe what I'd suggest you do, Rosaria, is once we've wrapped up here, maybe go into the group and just add a little comment where the replay is, so that people know that you're around. That would be helpful. But no, I don't have any questions. Any questions from anybody else?
Can't believe we made it on time. Like, the one thing I was more
I'm mega impressed. I'm like, gosh, I wasn't running the session. If I was running the session, I always run over. So it's like, gosh, you know, we actually got a guest that runs to time. How novel. Fun. Sarah's asking, where can I find the children's one? Because her ones loved it.
You mean the laughter club, or just the laughter, like the monkey, some laughter? Because you are in Scotland, Sarah. What I can do, I'll look up the link of the overall Laughter Yoga University. They both included. What do you mean included?
So I guess it's Sarah asking, do you run general sessions for kids?
For me. Like,
I don't know if that's the question. Can you nod your head if that's right, Sarah? Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, so you're welcome to join with them in my monthly Laughter Zoom. That's my free session, because basically, maybe one thing also important to share. My free yoga session, because basically, is that they're free. So, like, because part of the mission of the Laughter Yoga Club is to bring more happiness and more peace and more health in the world through laughter. So the way that Dr. Kataria set it up, that he asks all the teachers and leaders to have a laughter club which is free, and then they can do courses and sessions that are paid. So what I do now, I do this monthly laughter club via Zoom, and that one it's also available. I mean, if kids join, that's also fine. But there are also plenty of other laughter club online, and I'm sure in Scotland there are also laughter club for kids. But because they are local, you need to see what is available locally. But there is really laughter club like really everywhere, and then for different ages and for different groups. I can share in the comments of the also in the group the link to the overall website of Laughter Yoga, and then you can see the one also look for kids. And in my Laughter Zoom, absolutely, you're welcome. Your kids are welcome. And when there will be demand, we can do more for kids as well. Mine are already at the age 10, 11, where they're not so much into. So how old are your kids, in fact, Sarah? I think they're younger, right? And probably, I guess for mine, it's less exciting to do it with them. Yeah, 6, indeed, 6.
6 and 3.
That's the perfect age. That's the age where they normally love it the most. And then 10, 11 is the tricky one where they go like, oh, and definitely not with me being me, their mom. They go like, oh.
Yeah, it's the same for those of us that are, you know, over 50. The cool kids saying, you know, I'm not really doing this, you know.
But that's the inner critic, right? That's the inner critic. Is the fear of judgment. Is yeah, it's weird, right, Gail? Why we have so much almost shame around laughter?
It's a big Scottish thing as well, Rosaria. My mum's Italian, and I wish I was more like her, because she's like you. She just has always been the really smiley one. Generally, doesn't matter if it's raining, she still has something to laugh about. My dad's the opposite. so I do think sometimes British people generally, not just Scottish people, we hold back a lot. And I wish it was more, definitely like to be more European, more Italian.
Yeah,
I keep saying that. That's my inner leaders, my mum. We did discover that, and I need to kind of do that a little bit more.
Yeah, but you're generally quite bubbly though, Nadia. You know, so like if I think about everybody, you know, that I work with regularly, like you're quite you're quite outgoing and bubbly, and
I am, but I have to work on that. I've not always been like that, I would say.
Okay.
But you can tell when I'm not happy.
Oh yeah, no, we know that. Yeah, no, we know, because when you're not happy, you're quiet and
quite extreme.
yeah, a little bit. But yeah, so Sarah's saying, I think that's a Sarah. I think a stumbling block for people might feeling embarrassed. How do you overcome that?
Or is it? Let me see.
It's in the chat, Rosaria.
Yeah. So repeat the question again for me. How do you overcome?
The question is, I think a stumbling block for people might be feeling embarrassed. How do you overcome that?
Yeah, that's really like, it's the inner critic, right? Again, so it's also to feel safe, to do it in a safe space with people that you trust and you know that. So like try to avoid that judgment. And then once at the beginning it's strange. I mean, at the beginning, even though I am a very laughing and bubbling person, for me also was strange, and I really had to let go. But then once I let go, I was also like, finally I can be who I really felt like I always wanted to be. I always wanted to smile and to be this bubbling person, because that's who I really am inside. But for me as well, is challenging. So I think the main thing is create a safe space, find the tribe in which you feel safe, they feel safe, and you don't have to feel embarrassed. And that can be friends, or it can be at work. So one thing that I know it's really working well also with companies is they started as a team to do it every morning, just at 8:45 before we start the day. We just laugh for 15 minutes together. And at the beginning, sure, it might feel silly, but then once you get into it, it becomes more and more natural. So it's really about going over that first few days of moments of embarrassment, and then learn to laugh with it together. And also that you know that you're not laughing at each other, you are laughing with each other. So those type of attention.
Yeah.
And so Nadia, I see now also your comments, also to talk to your team at work. Yeah, that at work as well can be one-off session, But what is also really working well is for people to start the day with it, and then to do it every morning. I mean, what I'm doing also myself, I do with the people that I did the teacher training with. We meet every single morning at 7:30, like very early. Like before, I hardly get even out of the bed that early. But now at 7:30, whether we are in our pajama, wherever we are, we just 10 minutes, we do all the laughter together, and it's our fixed morning appointment. And then there is no embarrassment because we have created that safe space. And it really makes a difference when I start the day by having made that call, or for whatever reason I miss it. So once you start doing it, you also feel so much difference to your day that you go like, gosh, it's like, I really want it. It's like a very natural drug, like, and it is. I mean, you get the entire joy cocktail in a super natural way, which has no side effects. I don't know if there was any other comments that I missed.
Don't think so. So Pamela is watching live in the group, and it looks like there's a couple of people watching live in the group. So if you're on in the group, if you've got any questions or comments for Rosaria, feel free to post them in there as well, because I'm having a look at them just now, but I don't think there's any more at the moment. So I think we'll start wrapping up. But if there are any more questions, so here's a question from Sarah. I'm doing a quality campaign on culture, focusing on behaviors, insights, etc. I would love to add this to the session. Will be Q4 this year. There you go, Rosaria.
Cool.
So Sarah, you and Rosaria are both in the mastermind, so you can hook up in there potentially if you want to as well. Yeah, so if anybody has any more questions for Rosaria, any comments for Rosaria, feel free to pop them into the group or get in touch with Rosaria directly. And as I say, Rosaria is in the free Facebook group as well, so she'll be able to monitor any questions that are coming in there. But I think we are now over our time. So, but well done for kind of getting us through the session before the top of the hour, Rosaria. I was very impressed with that. Well done. So I guess just to finish by saying thank you very much to you for giving up your time. So I know that you are in the Netherlands, is it Amsterdam, or then I always forget if you're actually in Amsterdam or just somewhere near Amsterdam, or nowhere near Amsterdam. It's Amsterdam.
Cook and the Zan, just outside Amsterdam, really like
outside Amsterdam. So yes, and I know that you're obviously an hour ahead of us, so it's after 9 o'clock for you now. So thank you so much for giving up your evening to come along and share this session with us. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think everybody else did as well. And yeah, it was great. So thank you so much. And if anybody has any more questions, any more comments, pop them into the group. And I think we're done. Yeah, I think we're done.
Thank you all. Really
Thank
lovely.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Oh yeah, I was like, who is the third person? But it's me on the other computer.
There you go. Yeah, right. I've stopped the live stream as well. So yeah, there weren't
the recording. You want to stop also the recording?
Oh yeah, let me stop the recording.